Are you ready to witness an unforgettable adventure through one of the world's most fascinating waterways, the Panama Canal? Recently, we had the opportunity to sail aboard the Regent Seven Seas Splendor for a full transit crossing of this engineering marvel. In this video, we'll take you along with us on every step of our journey, sharing all the incredible sights we encountered along the way, and we'll give you the inside scoop of what it's really like to sail through this legendary passage.
So join us as we explore the pros and cons of cruising on a smaller ship and discover the hidden gems that make the Panama Canal such a truly unforgettable experience. Welcome to Calling All Ports.
For our 16-night Christmas on the Canal cruise from Miami to Los Angeles, we stopped at a number of fantastic ports: Cartagena, Colombia; Punta Arenas, Costa Rica; Puerto Quetzal, Guatemala; and Acapulco and Ensenada, Mexico were the highlights. But the main event was the 50-mile transit through the Panama Canal, which took place on Christmas Day. A Panama Canal cruise is on many travelers' bucket lists, and it certainly had always been on ours too. But this is a special trip for our family for another reason. We were honoring the life of my grandfather, Charles Preston, or as we all called him, Poppy. So with a group of 10 extended family members together on board, we set sail on a mission to fulfill Poppy's lifelong dream of visiting the canal. Poppy was a World War II veteran, one of the most genuine people you'd ever meet, and our hero. He was a mechanic and builder and loved the engineering that went into the true building of the canal. And he also loved cruising, so we planned on taking him on a full transit sailing for his 100th birthday. But he passed away peacefully in 2020, just before he turned 99. So even though he wasn't with us in body, he joined us in spirit and in bobblehead form. And thanks to the bobblehead, we got to share our story with the pilot Jaime, who led us through the canal. But more on that later.
Our transit started in the early hours of Christmas morning. We were up before 6 a.m. in order to experience the whole transit, and we witnessed a marvelous sunrise. Although with the Panama Canal being a main shipping artery, it did mean that we had to spend quite a bit of time waiting in Limon Bay. Once our pilot was aboard, though, we were able to get going. It's always really entertaining watching the pilot boat approach the ship, and the pilot, and in this case it looks like quite a few other local crew members, get on board. It's a really sort of delicate dance that they have to do to get the ship up alongside. Don't get us wrong, the Regent Seven Seas Splendor is a really terrific ship. However, there are some downsides to sailing through the Panama Canal on the Splendor. The main one being the limited forward-facing public areas to view the canal. There are no outdoor public decks facing the bow of the ship. Deck 5 is open air, but it's closed to guests. Regent has taken most of the other forward-facing decks and turned them over to high-end suites, meaning, unless you're paying top dollar, you don't get a view facing forward. Even the promenades on Deck 5 and Deck 12, which is the sports deck, don't wrap fully around the ship. They're cut off in the bow.
So to see the canals head-on, most guests are limited to the observation lounge. And that's a relatively small space, so you need to get up really early to grab your spot. And tensions over safe seats were certainly high that morning.
And like me, if you wanted to shoot photos or video, you were out of luck. The only way to get images from the front of the ship facing forward meant shooting through the observation lounge's tinted glass with lots of glare. So basically, I was limited to shooting only from the sides of the Splendor and the stern. A bit of a bummer. But as you can see, I was able to get lots of wonderful footage. I merely tried to make the most of it, and the small size of the Splendor allowed for a unique canal transit experience. The sports deck on 12 was relatively empty for most of the day and provided plenty of opportunities to look out at the beautiful Panama landscape as well as the bridges that we sailed under. I could run from one side of the ship to the other, getting lots of different angles and lots of different footage. As you can see, as we approached, there was a series of tugs waiting for us who would accompany us throughout our journey through the locks. As you may know, the Panama Canal is an engineering marvel that has undergone numerous changes since its initial construction in 1914. Recent upgrades have made it possible for larger vessels to pass through the canal, but sailing on a smaller cruise ship offers a really unique perspective and experience. There's several options available. Some cruise ships will do a partial transit with stops in Cologne on the Atlantic side or Panama City on the Pacific side. Others will start from the Pacific, sailing west to east. But the Splendor took what many cruisers consider to be the preferred route, a full transit going from the Atlantic through to the Pacific.
Another benefit to sailing on a ship like the Splendor is that because of its small size, we're able to travel through the older locks, which the newer, bigger ships aren't able to do. So we're really able to go back in time and really see how the old canal was built, giving you, I guess, maybe a more authentic experience of doing the full transit through the Panama Canal. Now, another benefit to traveling on a small ship is the location of the outdoor areas that have you right up against the locks. As you can see, Deck 5 had us so close to the canal we could actually touch it. And from Deck 5, we could really see how far the ship went up and down with the water levels.
And especially down on Deck 5, in the stern of the ship where the spa was, you could get a nice view of the tugboats who were there in case the ships needed assistance. And there's this little routine that happens each time where the tugs follow you in and then the gates close and the water fills in. It never really got old. It was quite an entertaining day. It was also really something, though, to see a number of super tankers passing through, and they seemed to be quite amused to see a smaller cruise ship like ours. Their crew was out along the rails with their phones out, taking photos and videos of us just as we were of them. You could also see the mules who help guide the ships. And today, while the mules are now electric locomotives, we had quite a bit of fun convincing a somewhat naive family member who shall remain nameless that a pack of animals would still be guiding the ship along the way.
So coming in from the Atlantic side, you see the most dramatic view of the canal because the first set of locks has 3 chambers that raise the ships up a total of 85 feet, and it truly is amazing. It never gets boring because each of the locks are very, very different, especially the ones when you first come in through the Atlantic. You can really see the differences in height as you go up. It's a slower process. It's truly magnificent. once we hit beautiful Lake Gatun, we had a few hours to sit back and enjoy the view, also to get lunch, but the view was simply breathtaking. By the way, if you would be so kind, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and stay up to date with our cruise travel content. Hit the notifications button and feel free to like this video and share a comment. Thanks. And everything seemed fairly quiet. We were starting to forget that it was Christmas Day, until we witnessed a big crowd having a grand old time waving to us as we passed by.
This must be a Christmas Day tradition. It was this huge affair with live music and this viewing balcony that was just packed with locals waving to us. It was a really nice surprise to have there right toward the end of the transit. Once we passed under the Bridge of the Americas, we knew that we were at the end of our Panama Canal journey and in the Pacific Ocean. And it was also time to say goodbye to our pilot. And that brings us to a coda here at the end of the story. The pilot, Jaime, was absolutely wonderful during the entire journey. He provided rich commentary about the history and importance of the Panama Canal. And Regent offered passengers the opportunity to meet him. So, of course, we took this opportunity to tell him Poppy's story.
You described yourself very well. I'll tell you the story of this trip. So my grandfather, this is his bobblehead. Yep. So he always wanted to go through the Panama Canal. The one time he had a cruise book, he got sick. Yep. But he died a few years ago, age of 98. So we brought the bobblehead home. That's Poppy. Yep. So he's enjoying it. We had him at the front.
Well,
looking out.
Yeah, definitely. It's a must. And honestly, it's very special. Well, I don't know if I will have the lucky that my beloved ones would remember me in such a way, but no.
Good for Bobby.
Certainly he was a good one.
Thank you for joining us on our journey through the Panama Canal. And if you're interested in what it's like to cruise on Regent Seven Seas Splendor, please check out these other videos.